Ursula von der Leyen from Germany will be the European Commission president for another 5 years, right? Well, not so fast. She hasn't cleared all the hurdles yet and still faces her toughest test yet. Before we look at her chances though, let's break down the road to becoming the Commission president. It's like an obstacle course with 4 main hurdles. First, you need to be chosen as the lead candidate of your party. For Ursula von der Leyen, that's a check. She's the face of her center-right EPP group. Second, your political group needs to win the election. Another check for Ursula von der Leyen. Her group scooped up 188 seats, the most of any party in the parliament. Now, we are talking about the EU here, so these first 2 steps are more like good practice than the law. In fact, only 5 years ago, step 1 was broken, as von der Leyen wasn't a lead candidate. Third, you need the support of the European Council, which means 20 out of the 27 EU countries need to back you. Check for von der Leyen. 24 countries voted in favor, 1 against, and 2 abstained. Italy's Meloni abstained, which might hint at future challenges. Now on to hurdle 4, the toughest test yet. Ursula von der Leyen needs an absolute majority in the European Parliament. When the parliament of 720 MEPs meets in mid-July, she'll need just over half, at least 361 votes in a secret ballot. Let's take a look at the European Parliament. These are the 720 MEPs, members of the European Parliament, Europeans voted into power a little over a month ago. The way it works is that Europeans vote for their national parties, which then collaborate with other countries' national parties in political groups. For example, Germany's CDU, Spain's PP, and Italy's Forza Italia work together in the EPP group. There are 8 such groups in total that will make up the European Parliament over the next 5 years. Von der Leyen is from the EPP group, which has the most seats. Just like in the last 5 years, she aims to create a grand coalition with the center-left SD and the Liberals Renew Europe. This would bring the seat count to 401, a majority of 40 seats. This should be enough to make her president, right? Well, it's not so simple. There might be a significant number of rebels within these parties who will not vote for her. The same happened in 2019, when von der Leyen, then a crisis-hit German defense minister, barely won by 9 votes. Back then, she also relied on votes from other groups, like the Greens, to get a majority. This time, she has a proven track record, but some of the parties that backed her then, like the nationalist Polish Law and Justice Party, won't support her now. So who else could vote for her? Right off the bat, the sovereignists, Patriots for Europe, and the left are out of the equation. They openly oppose von der Leyen. However, the ECR and the Greens have been a bit more vague in their ambitions, and this is where the battle for the presidency will take place. So what's von der Leyen's strategy? In our eyes, she has 3 options. Stick with the 3 parties in the center, turn left to the Greens, or turn right to the ECR, which includes Giorgia Meloni. Each strategy, though, has significant risks. Strategy 1, keeping her coalition narrow, may not give her enough votes. The center-right EPP, SD, and the Liberal Renew group have just over 400 seats, but some members have said they won't vote for her. Within her very own EPP group, the French Republicans and the Irish Fianna Fáil have already publicly stated that they won't support von der Leyen. Similarly, Renew Europe is not happy about von der Leyen flirting with the ECR group, who they claim are too far to the right and not pro-European. Plus, the Liberals are complaining about how they've been treated in the parliamentary job trading last week. Analysts predict a 10% defection rate, putting her around the 360 mark. And as she needs 361 votes, she could narrowly lose. And with a secret ballot, you simply don't know. This number might be a lot bigger. Strategy 2, enlisting the European Greens, is risky too. They were initially opposed to von der Leyen for another 5 years, but now want to join her coalition. While the center-left SD and Renew Europe welcome this, Ursula von der Leyen could alienate parts of her very own center-right EPP base, especially the German Christian Democrats. The Greens want guarantees that von der Leyen won't touch the existing Green Deal laws, but the EPP wants to do exactly that, touch the Green Deal. Too much collaboration with the Greens could mean more defects and rebels within her very own party. Strategy 3, enlisting the right-wing ECR, might be the riskiest, but the ECR is the 4th largest party in the parliament, having overtaken Renew Europe. The S&D and Renew Europe have a red line though. If von der Leyen makes a deal with Meloni, they'll pool their support, and then she'll almost certainly lose. At EU Made Simple, we believe von der Leyen is trying to squeeze through the middle with Strategy 1, relying on the European People's Party, the Socialists and Democrats, and the Liberals, and no one else, at least not officially. She's banking on getting some support from them anyway. Some ECR MEPs are likely to support her already, such as the Czechs. Peter Fiala, the Prime Minister of Czechia, whose party, the Civic Democratic Party, is part of the ECR, has already stated that he can help von der Leyen secure a second term, as she understands Central European problems. As for the Greens, von der Leyen has had multiple meetings with them. However, she will likely avoid making too much noise or public promises to the Greens to maintain EPP support. It might well be that she made some backroom promises to gain at least some support, perhaps from the German Greens. And then there's another wild card in Ursula von der Leyen's re-election, and that is that the vote is a secret ballot. This means that MEPs can vote yes or no for von der Leyen without anyone knowing how they voted. But will this help her or hinder her? There are two schools of thought. First, it could hurt her as it invites backstabbing. The secret ballot allows MEPs to vote against von der Leyen without facing any direct consequences or backlash from their party or colleagues. This anonymity might encourage those who are unhappy with her leadership but fear reprisal to vote no, potentially undermining her chances. On the other hand, it could help her as it allows secret deals. The secrecy can enable von der Leyen to strike private deals with individual MEPs or smaller factions, securing their support without requiring them to publicly commit. This could work in her favor by allowing her to gather votes from unexpected quarters. However, we feel it can do more good than bad, as we doubt she's able to make deals with hundreds of MEPs, and her support in her own center party isn't rock solid. We think a party whip to get everyone in line would have been more beneficial for her. Therefore, we actually think her chances of winning are literally 50-50, maybe even ever so slightly leaning towards Ursula von der Leyen losing. We feel that the combination of a weakened center coalition, no clear alliance with the Greens or ECR, and the secret ballot aspect could hurt her. So what happens next? If she gets a majority, she can form her 27-person commission, where she will most likely ask each government to put forward 2 candidates, male and female, for her to choose from. We'll cover this in another video when the time comes, so make sure you subscribe. If she doesn't get a majority, she won't become president, and the European Council will have to find an alternative. Who might that be? Watch our video on the most likely candidates if von der Leyen fails. And let us know in the comments how you think this will play out. It could really go either way. We want to make you aware that we're also launching content in your local language. So far we have launched a German, French, Italian, Portuguese and Greek channel, so check those out in the description if you're interested. Not to mention that we're also on Instagram and Twitter. And if you like our work, please subscribe, like the video, or even better, sign up to Patreon to support our channel. Until next time.